what I remember the most is, we're talking about furniture and stuff, but I think it was the excitement to see on kids' faces when they walked in there, and this was a completely different world to them. And then trying to change a mindset was even more crazy. It was like, can I do that? Yes, of course you can. And always answering questions with more questions, I think was the order of the day, I think, in the beginning.
What was your original wanting to start this that kept you going, Mark? What was your vision?
I'm so tired of seeing students just thinking in one space and in one block. So for me, to try and get a student to think beyond that. And so how to do that, I felt like you needed to take away a lot of the rules, the regulations, and allow students to mess up in a safe space. And that would allow students to think a little bit better, think a little bit more. And so, and surprisingly, within the first year, we had students that suddenly I got this. I'm going to take ownership of my studies. I'm going to do something. Whereas I think typically if they were still stuck in a government type school or a mainstream school, they definitely would just be following like sheep. Sorry to say. And so it was very important for me. We wanted to create unique students. We wanted to create a culture of thinking, and not just thinking, but out of the box thinking. And I think we hit the mark, certainly in the beginning.
Well, when we started, it was a kind of pioneering a whole uncharted territory in terms of there was no blueprint, that we could follow.
But I think that was part of the fun, is to create this and to put it together and make it work and work as this team.
Yes.
And we're family. We've always been family, and that's been the greatest thing. It's just to...
I think it was the experimentation. And if this suits one student, then let's see how it works for him. Okay, it works for him, but maybe not for another. And it was just, learning every day what worked for who and what didn't work, and everybody was different. I have a lot of students now in this lockdown who have been saying the same thing. We want to come back to school now.
And I think the fact that we can just be real.
Yes.
Nobody can really hide away because we see you. Because we're small groups, small classes, a child cannot sit there and be down or depressed and leave the class without a tutor saying to them what's going on, what is really going on. And to have that chat, I think that's what makes us unique.
Yeah, I think one of our big things from the beginning was to make sure that a child does not sit at the back of a class.
Yes.
And so there was a whole concept. And so even if you come to the academy today, you'll see that we never sit in rows as much as possible. We always sit around a table, and that includes the teacher or the tutor. So that there is a conversation that is being had. There is dialogue. You have to participate, even if it's just eye contact. And I think that for us was big. We hit the mark.
What is amazing for me is that sometimes these kids come, and I think the fact that they don't come in uniform, they can dress whatever way they like, and their hair can be whatever way they like it to be, is how they come in trying to fit in and then realize, but I don't have to perform. I can just be myself, and how everything just seems to calm down. The hair becomes smaller, and I can just be. And even if I wear the same top 2 days in a row, it's actually fine. Nobody notices that.
Yes.
And I think you hit it on the head. And often in interviews I tell parents, it's like that spring that you're now letting go. It's not just going to, rise a little bit above the hand. It's going to take off. What happens is the momentum is lost eventually because I can do it.
And I think also what really helps us with the new students that come in, that we have this orientation program. So it's not just, okay, you're here, now get going. So we really have an orientation program where we help them to fit in, to know who they are, how do we roll. They really have quite an orientation period.
Thank you for joining us. I hope that this has made sense, that you understand a little bit more about how we do things at Peak, that in essence, we're talking about relationships with people, that sometimes it's not always done in a nice, neat package, that this is life and that things need to happen according to who you are and how you do things. And so, and lastly, as a parent, that you understand that we get your child as they come in, and we work with them no matter who they are, what background they come